The question that everyone is asking right now is, who is Black Adam? We're going to talk about that. We're going to break it all down right now, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment and one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, has just revealed that he is playing Black Adam in Warner Brothers Pictures and DC Entertainment's SHAZAM movie. I cannot wait for this, man. What my hopes, real quick, I just want to talk about my hopes and my dreams of what this means, is that we get to see The Rock versus Henry Cavill. We get to see The Rock versus Ben Affleck. That's what I want to see. I don't know if it's going to happen like that, but that's just my hopes, man. And we all come together in this giant Justice League movie, and everybody's fighting and battling, and, you know, there's explosions all over the screen and shaky camera movements, and it's going to be great, man. Who is Black Adam? Black Adam first appeared in 1945. The comic book that he appeared in was called The Marvel Family #1, and he was originally a predecessor of Captain Marvel. Now, I don't really know a whole lot about this guy, man, but I am going to research a little bit more and see exactly, you know, what's so powerful about him. Now, I have saw him in a couple times inside of the DC animated films, and you guys can always, you know, share and comment and talk about, you know, who Black Adam is, all this good stuff, man. I will be getting the Black Adam #1, and if they have like a Black Adam volume, I'll read that bad boy too. And, you know, kind of get a little bit more into the character a little bit, man. But let's continue on. So, the Wizard SHAZAM gave Captain Marvel and Black Adam the exact same identical powers. And all of a sudden, Black Adam became corrupt. I guess they used to hang out in ancient Egypt, and that's going to be fascinating to know, because, or I guess to see on film, is, are they going to go to Egypt? Is it going to be in Egypt? Is this kind of expanding this universe? Because obviously you have, you know, Superman, Man of Steel, that's going to be in America, and then, you know, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is going to be in Israel, and, you know, she represents that. Is this them kind of expanding all over the globe? And if it is, that's going to be fascinating. I just, seriously, because it means everybody's connected. That means any person that goes to watch a DC Comics movie will have a relatable character, man. And then, obviously, you know, the box office numbers, if you're doing this in Egypt, if you have, you know, that connectability across the entire world, the same thing that, you know, Marvel was doing with the Avengers Age of Ultron, having it in Africa and Morocco and all these other exotic places. That's really fascinating, man, especially for your overseas box office tickets. Same thing, look at what Transformers Age of Extinction did. When you know, gear your audience or gear your movie towards a certain particular demographic or audience, it's just fascinating results, man. Box office numbers go through the roof, man. So I think that's really, really cool. Another thing I didn't think about, and I think this is kind of cool too, is that, and obviously I didn't think about it because I didn't know anything about ancient Egypt and SHAZAM, but this is going to be the second superhero that's going to be featuring an ancient Egyptian villain. I mean, obviously we're talking about, you know, X-Men Days of Future Past, you know, the end credit scene, post credit scene, whatever it was called, with Apocalypse, man. And that's, I think that's pretty cool, man. And in Sabah Nur, you know, obviously they were chanting that over and over and over again. So it's going to be kind of cool, man, to see what they're going to do, man. To kind of to show this, because that was a pretty big scale, man. Even for, like, I think it was like what, 10-15 seconds for that Apocalypse scene, but you knew exactly where you were at and what was going on, man. The thing about DC Comics, man, a lot of their characters, man, is the relatability factor, man. I mean, a lot, obviously, you know, with Marvel Comics, it's really, really easy because, you know, a lot of the guys are human beings, you know, turned, you know, quote unquote mutants, and they're not like these godlike, you know, people like we have in DC Comics, man. So that's going to be interesting to see where they go with that. So if you're looking to read up on SHAZAM, in Black Adam, you should probably start with the 1977 Shazam number 28, The Return of Black Adam. And you should also look at the 1987 reboot series Shazam, The New Beginning, and the 1994 The Power of Shazam. It's a graphic novel, and I guess they're going to probably help you out a little bit more understanding. That's what I'm going for, guys. And as soon as they come in, I'll do an unboxing video for that, and obviously read them and then tell you guys about it, because this is fascinating for me, man. I thought that they were going to do a little bit different. I didn't know they were actually going to go with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being a villain. This is kind of like the second time that that this has happened, as far as The Rock playing a villain. Obviously, we're talking about the Scorpion King, and then we go into now. And the Scorpion King was kind of like a hero and a villain in the same way. So it's kind of fascinating to see, how Dwayne Johnson has improved on his acting skills, because obviously the Scorpion King had his issues. It was pretty dope for his time. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I had no problem with it, to be honest with you, especially because back in the day we didn't have, a lot. I mean, we had the Mummy, and then they canceled the Mummy, or they stopped making the Mummy, and then all of a sudden we had a Scorpion King, and then, they didn't do too well. But I love the CGI, man. I mean, it was kind of like the Beowulf CGI that they had a little bit later on. But, the Scorpion King with, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that started all that stuff, man. And, you got to give credit where it's due. Now, that had a introduction to the character where he was good, and then all of a sudden something happened that turned him bad. And then hopefully we'll get a little bit backstory for Black Adam with whatever they're going to do with this Shazam movie. Now, they also have this 2007 series, man, called Black Adam: The Dark Age. And that, I guess, was led to some of the confusion between Captain Marvel and Black Adam. I guess Black Adam was less popular than Captain Marvel at one point, and then everything kind of flipped a little bit and switched roles to where Black Adam is more popular than Captain Marvel, and then they call Captain Marvel Shazam now to avoid any confusion with all the rest of the Captain Marvels inside of the Marvel Entertainment and stuff. So that's going to be kind of cool, man, to look into the series. Now, I'm looking at a lot of the different covers for the Black Adam, and I like to tell you, it has a lot of electricity, almost like Raiden. There's fire behind it. There's this giant, thunderbolt, man. It looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, man. Hopefully they won't change up the uniform too much. I think it'll be kind of cool, man, to see him actually wear, obviously an updated to where his neck isn't too exposed as much as I'm seeing here. And I think they should keep the, the gold little things on there. But then again, I mean, it depends on how it looks on screen, man. But definitely keep the Thunderbolt, man. And yeah, that's pretty dope. Now, I guess the fascinating thing about the Black Adam character is that he is very unpredictable. And there's this picture that I'm looking at right now, and it said, would he save the day or kill the good guys because they accidentally insulted his family? No one could predict. That's crazy, man. I had no clue about this guy, man. I think the only time I ever played or interacted with the Black Adam would have to be during the video games with Injustice, a couple of I think it was Mortal Kombat versus DC Comics, something like that on 360. And I think that was probably the only time that I ever saw this character. I never read a whole lot about him, so it's kind of cool, man, to see that that's the diversity and the risk that he said he wanted to take, as far as Dwayne Johnson said he wanted to take with this character. He wanted someone that was very complex, and when he was describing this thing, complex, and that can go toe-to-toe with Superman, and actually kick Superman's ass, too. So that's this is going to be good, man. And guys, in closing, man, I don't know who they're going to get to play opposite of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. They have to get a character that's going to be like a mirror image almost of The Rock, and obviously the person that can play on screen well with him. The first person I thought of would have to be like Vin Diesel. That's what I was thinking of, just because of the way that they look. But people were talking to, Arnie Hammer and a couple other guys. I don't want to see that. I want to see DC Comics do something like they did with The Rock and think outside the box. cast someone that hasn't had an opportunity before, and cast someone that's going to move box office numbers, man. That's all I got to say. Thanks again, guys, for listening, man. We're out of here. And, yeah, I can't wait for this bad boy, man. DC Comics forever. And Zack Snyder, we try.